was an old traditional area. We used to have Avatime State, and when you mention Avatime, it's comprised a lot of towns from Jolo right to Ketekrachi. You know, so it was a challenge. When the day that they arrested me, my mother cried, like a bride who will cry when is swearing the oath of for better for worse. You know, but she cried genuinely because on no same blah blah, on no blah blah. We're alone. We struggled it alone, and we are still struggling it alone. You know, I know everybody else will do that, but you know, kings and chiefs benefit from their people. Chiefs and queens benefit from their people. Those days, it is the whole traditional area that goes to farm for the chief. And I know that is, I mean, a tradition from the ages, even the European people, because those days they conquered people and the slaves were farming for the chief. But in our custom and tradition, it's a voluntary action by the citizens in the traditional area to feed their chief, their leader. And that's what they do. And chiefs never went to war, right? People fight and bring them the spoils of war. You know, so as part of our tradition, when a chief is gone to the village, you know, there's this saying that Biaman or Agbala is part of those people who are under you, will pay homage to you, you know. Those things are gone now. And so, to become Osie of Avatime was a task that was very difficult to accept, because again, as a Kedon, look, let me tell Kedoni, a plug kulia table, ani me monu obiakpane, me monu jopone, me monu amejopone, monu opane, aromonu tongwane, ani lele nubolabla. When you do that, you will never ever progress. Unity, cooperation, understanding, and letting go of the self, letting go of the individual, and talk about the collective. Thank God, chieftaincy institution is now being regulated by some Act 759, the Chieftaincy Act. So it has regulated how chieftaincy issues. But the most important thing is for unity to progress, to be the cornerstone of any traditional area. It is very important. And also chiefs will also take advantage of that and become tyrants or teen gods on their community. The current requirement of a chief is to build on his mobilization techniques and power, bringing people together and to make them progress so that you create jobs for the jobless and protect the vulnerable. But we have things that we can do using the mind to develop and provide food on the table for the family. That is what we are doing. And so when you ask who is Osie, here I am. I am a retired person. I worked in several organizations, from mobilization to NADMO, to Ministry of Public Sector Reform, Energy, to tourism, back to Public Sector Reform Secretariat, and recently Railways Development, Ministry of Railways Development, before I retired. So here I am. Who is he? I am Osie.
Okay. What happened the day you were arrested?
Oh, what happened the day? The person who approached me knew what happened to him. But yeah, it wasn't an easy bit because it sent my mind back. If you saw the pictures of that day, I was the saddest person on earth at that time because I was separated from my mother. My mother was living with me, you know, and throughout the journey from Accra to the Holy Village, a number of things were going through my mind, you know. Most important was whether I was ready for the job. Who were going to be my supporters? Who were going to be my advisors? Because as a king, as an Osie, you should have a council of elders. Till now, I'm unable to get a council of elders because for me, everybody is my counselor. Okay. Young, old, everybody is my counselor. So the idea to form a council or advisory council, that is an idea. It's a good thing, you know, but I have been able to do that because I believe that every idea is important, raw as it is from anybody who comes important. But we have a traditional council which was put in place, or which has been put in place by the law, Act 759, Chieftaincy Act. And that traditional council originally was made up of only gazetted chiefs. But on assuming the throne, I said, why do you limit advice or traditional rule to only men? Women are there. They form 51% of our population. They give birth to us. Why do you exclude them? So I included all the queens as part of the traditional council. We meet quarterly, and we are encouraging the women to also take up that responsibility of mobilizing the women so that teenage pregnancy will go down. I'm sure you interviewed my queen the last time you spoke about teenage, but they should take the forefront of the fight against teenage pregnancy, because it's the women who give themselves up because of the sweet mouths of young boys. I was asking some people who said to me just this morning, what was one yamlale? Abaki could down to post frame as oh. Okay, go down to what dear could dante take ako chim ye wakasle him let pen way when let pen ye olibrole abite as oh la wali. So it is indiscipline in its highest place on the part of the women. Because blood being my opponent is we have that power and give me the word male chauvinism. See, like, we want to have everything. We pay. But because of poverty, the young girls, I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming equally the young boys, because if you are growing, then there are certain feelings amongst you, and you want to begin to exhibit those feelings. You should play down that one. It's irresponsibility to take somebody's daughter, impregnate that daughter, and at the end of it all say that I know. It is insulting. But that is what is happening now in Avatime and other parts of the country. We are trying to stop that by making sure that there are some rules. That is why in our marriage list that we developed, there is a stiff punishment for someone who had or who impregnates a student or a teenager. Stiff punishment. Unfortunately, our development associations and most of our chiefs are not going by that. And when you ask them, they have their own individual ways of doing that because alien money, I mean, that kind of thing. Before you build a society, you have to have a disciplined society. Maybe it should be indicted on me. I'm not being very hard on my chiefs. But because we don't have any structured governance system, the structured governance system which would ensure that punishment is inflicted. Because when chiefs misbehave and I punish them, they come and beg. If 2 bottles of this, I mean, it's not acceptable. First and foremost, you should understand that you have, as a leader, broken. I don't believe in fines. I don't. Okay. Yes, I don't. Yeah, because you there's so much poverty here. You find the person is unable to pay. So what is the essence? But I want to appeal to the sensibility of the people. Your time is up. Yeah, this is finished. Your time is up. Don't worry. I want to appeal to the sensibility of leaders to be responsible. So that is Osie.
Thank you.
Osie,
yes.
Our young men are saying the marriage list is too much.
Yes.
Please, what can you tell us about that?
Well, thank you so much. Traditionally, marriage is as simple as just giving some pots, cakes of palm wine to go and ask of a woman's hand in marriage. And then they will ask the woman whether she likes or not. See, of course, your parents would have gone to scout around the woman before, and so those other things are just ceremonial. You know, so you buy the things that you have to buy for the woman to start life. I mean, your parents will also have to, you know. But modernity has corrupted our tradition, our custom, to the extent that people say, oh, white marriage here and there. Traditional marriage, fully done, is a marriage in itself. You can go and register it. So they brought a lot of things. So we formed a committee at the Traditional Council to review that and bring out an acceptable list for marriage. We made a mistake because we gave the things to people whose mindset is like to make marriage. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Well, we tried to explain to them, oh, that is it, so fine. Let's practice it for the first time. Of course, my predecessor also had a list that is signed. But the shorts of the long story is that, yes, I agree with the young people that the things happen. I tried as much as possible to compress the two because phase 3, stage 3 and 4 are the same thing. You know, the most important thing is for the parents to appreciate the person who brings you a bottle of 2 kegs of palm wine and the accompanying thing, then the dress for the father and mother, those things. If you do it traditionally and you do Thanksgiving, that should be the end. If the two of you decide that you're going to go for wedding, that is your business. You cannot repeat all those things again. That was the information that has gone on. The people went down and it was a tag of war. I was not signing the list because it's the same thing they are repeating. Because if you're dealing with a mindset of people who are determined that marriage should go that long, you are discouraging the young ones from doing that. Of course, I also passed through it anyway. So it is true. There are only 2 important stages. Kokoko, alo, odevio, onion tupu. Then that's it. Those are the 2. We developed a list. Now, of course, we have cut down most of those things. And when we sent it back, people will come and bring the same tune over again, and you know. But I signed a final one, which was better than which is better than previous one. In addition to that, as I was saying, there's stiff punishment for people who impregnate students and all this kind of that. And we also included how to bury your in-law in the list. Okay. So I want to encourage the young men that marriage is not an easy task. If you are ready to marry, it means you are ready to bear responsibility. So they should go ahead and honor their prospective wives with goodies. What is due the women, they should give it to them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. My last question.
Okay.
Give a message to my brothers and sisters, both here and abroad.
Message to Kedone and friends of Avatime. We are in trying times this time. The COVID that has come is a game changer. It is a life-threatening virus that is wiping out families. We have instituted, and government has instituted COVID-related protocols. In our side of this country, we think that because the disease is not close to us, we don't want to observe those protocols. My permission must COVID-19 only real. Ayeko eponblosi obablokusiyate. Kidoso onakakage ado again. Anybody who travels from outside the traditional area and comes into the traditional area from Accra and other endemic areas must isolate himself for 14 days. Test his body symptoms that he is not or she is not contracted the disease, the virus, before going out. 14 days. That instruction, that regulation or law is still in place. But we see our people coming from outside and immediately they get out of the car, they are going around to greet their family members. Please, COVID has come to change our usual way of life. So we are not in normal times. So I want to appeal to them. Wash your hands, keep your safe distance, wear your mask, and use sanitizer if you are there. And for our people abroad, outside, we know that you are struggling. We are praying that you make money because, of course, we are making money than some of us here. Spend a little bit of money and send it down to your people for their upkeep and development. Because we are doing a lot for you to keep Avatime on the scale of other equally powerful traditional areas. Unity, peace, understanding, brotherliness, keeper of your brother or your sister. That should be your watchword. What I see on the WhatsApp pages, the apparent intolerance on the WhatsApp pages, on all the Avatime platforms, is not acceptable. Respect people's views because we are not the same. And advise in a brotherly and friendly and Christly manner, godly manner. If you quarrel openly on the Facebook, that is an indication of what is happening back home in your communities. Individualness, I am from Biakpa, I am from Avatime Biakpa, I am from Avatime Mejope, I am from... No. That is not. We are talking about Avatime. We are putting Avatime, because Avatime has reached a level where a lot of people were asking, how did you do it? Of course, in any sugarcane plantation, even still you see that there are paths in it. I say also hulume kudungu pasi deme kudu. So certainly there will be some divergent views. Let's accept those divergent views and move ahead as a nation, as a community. I don't like the insults on the platform. I don't like those kind of agitation. Suggestions that will develop Avatime are the ones that we want. If somebody says something that you don't like, inbox the person and talk about it. Don't put it on the platform as if you are being attacked. It doesn't show development. It doesn't show forward march. So I want to thank all of you that you should support Gosa TV. You should support George Ofori for this initiative that like his speech. That is all that he wants. I'm in situations where you bring other people's information onto your platform without propagating your community information. It's not good. Everybody is a Christian. Everybody knows the Bible. It is not a platform that you want to change people. The platform should be created to develop Avatime. And if there is something development about Avatime, let us stop. People should contribute. The Avatime welfare that has been established, I see how people are not contributing towards it. When we want to help, the story that happened about Avatime Jogbepeme, the school building, it is not acceptable. If you know that you want to suggest something, inbox the person and give it that thing and do the conversation there. Don't put it on the platform to feel as if you are more sympathetic than any other person. So I want to assure you that I'm there for you. I am here to lead you into development. We are doing everything to make Avatime Mountain Brown Rice a brand name for Avatime. Let us celebrate Amu Fest in grand style. The situation where we are rotating the celebration and it's only the town that is celebrating that have people come, it's not acceptable. If we are celebrating in the Avatime Biakpa, let Avatime Vane, Avatime Mejope, Avatime Biakpa, Avatime Fume, Avatime Chokwe, and Avatime Bajeme. Let all the citizens come from outside Ghana, outside Africa, because it's once in a year. Schedule your holidays and leave periods on November, because it's November, second week in November that we celebrate. So let your leave period, discuss with your employers and put your leave period on that day and come home and help develop, because people have done it. Why don't we want to do it for Avatime? And for the friends of Avatime, look, come. We are close to heaven. Our weather is good. Our forest is green. Our people are welcoming. We have a nice language. We have Bimikome, Avatime brown rice, and Adoilano, and Mpapransa, and cake, and bread of brown rice. Thanks to Eneda Peace Enyobaku for being the champion of Avatime brown rice. And for the Amufest Queens, I think that you shouldn't be lost because your period is gone. Come together. Let's help. For the chiefs and queens of Avatime, let us come together. Those towns that don't have chiefs, I have told you already that for every month of the year that you don't install your chief, 10 cities, fine. And for the clans also who haven't installed 5 cities a month. So try and be. It's leaders that move. Let's install our chiefs. Let's stop the pettiness and rally around anybody who is our leader. Thank you so much, and God bless Gosa TV. You grow from strength to strength. The ancestors who help you, God will also help you. And don't be discouraged, the Gosa team, don't be discouraged by things that will happen, because that is the way of life of a human being. God has made a human being to be controversial, but trust in God, believe in Him, always pray and give thanks to God, and Gosa TV would go places and compete with other television networks. Thank you.
Thank you. Viewers, that was Osie Adza Tekpor, the 7th, the paramount chief of Avatime Traditional Area. My name is Antonia Krapa once again. I thank you for watching, and keep watching Gosa GH TV. Subscribe Gosa GH TV for more videos. Thank you.